Is the National Guard the answer for the border crisis? Tens of thousands of illegals flooding detention facilities as they wait deportation or asylum. As the humanitarian crisis grows, so do concerns over the health and well-being of those who have made it here.
It's a refugee camp in the United States. I never thought I'd see that in this country. We saw a lot of little children, babies, children being quarantined off with scabies. Remember, there's a health element to all this. Very sad, tragic conditions as a human being to see something like this.
Mike McCall was on our program yesterday. My next guest participated in some of these aid missions along the border with the National Guard, Illinois Congressman Adam Kinzinger. And, sir, welcome back here to America's Newsroom. National Guard. This is the debate. This is the question out there that in the near term this would solve it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's a good start. I mean, this has been done before. It's been done with great success. There was a surge of people to the border back in 2006. President Bush reacted, keep in mind, in the middle of the height of two very big wars, by sending the National Guard to the border. And they actually plussed up specifically Arizona. And we actually saw what they did was come in and took a lot of the functions that Border Patrol was getting drugged down doing and allowed Border Patrol to go back out to enforcing the border. And what we see right now as Border Patrol, you hear about them changing diapers and taking care of these children when their job and what they've been trained to do is actually to go protect the border. So the National Guard can alleviate a lot of these extra duties they're doing and allow the Border Patrol to go out and stop the drug traffickers from putting their drugs across, potentially terrorists from crossing in and everything like that.
You are saying that the National Guard would solve this then? Is that the sheer presence or the alleviation of duties for others?
I think it's both. I don't think it'll solve it in the long term. I think this is the short-term stopgap to a real border solution, to the problem that the president's created. So they can go in and maybe it's a medical unit that can go in and take care of these children instead of these Border Patrol agents having to do it and helping them with surveillance issues like I did. I flew last year over the border watching folks that were crossing and helping work with the Border Patrol to get them to the areas where the crossings were happening. And that kind of stuff is what the National Guard can play. We're not talking about troops walking along the border armed. We're talking about people that can do the duties to allow the Border Patrol, which are well-trained, to do what they need to do.
Okay, so that was, 2006 you did that. You flew over again about a year ago.
Right.
Is 2014 that much different from 8 years ago?
I don't think so. And, look, there was, again, a huge surge to the border. The border became a little more robust in 2006 as a result of Operation Jumpstart. But we're seeing now with this flood of immigrant children and the flood of drugs coming across the border that we need to do this again. Yeah. And you know what? Ultimately, the president's got to step up and say we need a real border solution. He talks about immigration reform. A lot of us think that's something that needs to happen, but not until the border is secure. And meanwhile, he's playing pool and everything else.
Well, if you went to the whitehouse.gov website, this is what you'd find. You find that they say the border security now is stronger than it's ever been. It also says that it gives the president credit for doubling the number of Border Patrol agents. Is that not true?
Yeah, no, it's not. And I'll tell you, I mean, look, he may have doubled the number. It may be more secure than it's been in the past, I guess. But last year, when I was flying over the border, again, watching crossings, the Border Patrol was outmatched in many ways. These are tough men and women, but they were outmatched because groups would cross. They'd move the Border Patrol to that group. They'd step back into the Rio Grande. Another group would cross. The Border Patrol would react to that. And it was this kind of like back and forth show. And that was before we had this influx of children to the border. Now Border Patrol are being inundated with these children that they have to take care of, and these drug cartels are moving with impunity, and it's really a very tragic situation.
Two more quick points. Apparently, the president told Rick Perry, and they agreed that the president would be happy to consider the idea. If that's the case, do you expect it to happen?
I hope so, but look, I've heard a lot of things this president has said with hopeful optimism that has only let me down. So if he does and he's serious about protecting the border, then great, but I'm not holding my breath because I have a feeling I'll be very disappointed.
It would be faster than trying to change that law of 2008, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. This is a beginning stopgap, and we can deal with the long-term issue out here, but we need to get the Guard to the border in the short term.
Well, we'll see if that happens or not. Adam Kinzinger, thank you for your time, sir, from Washington today.
You bet.